My story has a relatively odd beginning, growing up in a family with a biology teacher for a father and two preachers for grandfathers. My scientist father had a love for the Bible, and my preacher grandfathers had an appreciation for nature and science. If I had never stepped outside the circle of my family, I might never have even known that there was tension perceived between the two. Science and faith were simply friends. In fact, I enjoyed both so much, I decided as a senior in high school that I would study biology in college and then go to seminary to be a theologian. On my application to Wheaton College, I filled in biology as a prospective major. Upon arriving at college and filling out a similar form, I wrote geology. I am not a spontaneous person, and that was not a typo. Yet to this day, I have no recollection of what prompted that change. Yet I also have no regrets. It was a wonderful fit for my love for exploring natural processes, particularly those related to water. I soon felt a strong calling to shift my plans from seminary to pursuing a Ph.D. in water resources at the University of Arizona, just a little south of where this meeting is being hosted. Beyond my home, I did begin to encounter the tensions that others experience between science and their Christian faith. I lost track of how many times someone would learn that I was a geologist and a Christian and ask, "So how does that work?" And I soon learned that responding with, "Quite well, actually," was not really a sufficient answer. As I engaged in those conversations, I found that many had a sense that God's natural creation and his written word shouldn't be in conflict. Yet voices of authority, whether professors or preachers, repeatedly told them a choice had to be made. With walls where bridges once stood, too many were choosing to leave the church or choosing to stay, but then isolating the flock from participation in the sciences. Recognizing the desperate need to restore those bridges made me realize why that high school kid who had thought he might want to be a theologian one day later felt called to a career in the sciences. God had placed me and others like me in a position to have a unique voice in the church. When I can start a conversation by telling fellow Christians about my own faith and journey, I earn the right to be heard on science. When I can tell still more stories from history, how the study of God's natural and written word interweaved to gain a greater wonder for both, hearts and minds begin to open to consider scientific data. Today, I still love mucking around in a cypress swamp, studying the interplay between water and soil and ecology. And I also marvel to see how God has brought me full circle, where my writing, speaking, and passion is equal parts science and theology.